who's had to wake up very early for this interview, Wes Towers, who's the founder of Uplift 360. And what I really liked about his payoff line on his business is he supports tradespeople and construction-related businesses, both big and small, on their journey to growth and success online, because everyone needs a little bit of help. And I was chatting to Wes a bit earlier about the importance of niches. And whenever any agency comes and says, oh, well, everyone's our client, we help everyone, I know they don't know what they are doing, because it's impossible to make everybody happy. So Wes, welcome.
Thanks so much, Nicholas. It's fantastic to be here and talk to you. I realize it's late for you in the evening and early for me, so it's good to connect to someone on the other side of the planet.
Yeah, well, energy levels for me, nighttime, good energy levels. Some people are morning people, not me. So
Yeah.
let's talk. Let's talk a little bit about your business. You've been building websites for quite a long time, and I think one of the big things that has changed is SEO, obviously. So everyone knows that SEO is important for websites. But now with AI and websites, is SEO still relevant, Wes?
Yeah, well, it's just shape shifted a little bit over the years, and it's been a transition that's been something that we've needed to manage through the process with our clients. Everyone's getting less traffic through Google. Effectively, most people were using Google to find businesses. They'd search for the service offering and the location, basically. So Plumber Melbourne, for example. But now people are using a whole bunch of other tools, large language models, to do research effectively about businesses and finding them through ChatGPT and the like. So, and also the other thing, Google is showing the answer, so the AI overview within the platform, so there's less reason to click through to a website. So that did become a challenge for the business, because all of a sudden everyone's traffic dropped a fair bit as these things have been changing and evolving. So to manage client expectation, but to have that discussion about, well, has it meant there's less business? And the answer for all clients really has, no, there's not less business, there's just less research-based traffic. So people just sort of dipping their toes in the water, so to speak. When people are ready to make a transaction, they need to buy something, they need to go to a physical shop front or a digital shop front, and the website being the digital shop front. So to have those conversations over the recent times, because obviously the old school method of you get a click and you get some traffic and you measure the conversion rate and it leads to a sale, and you could easily track all of that stuff. Less so now, but at least the end result, the sale or the transaction, is still being done online, well, through online marketing.
So there's not necessarily a book or a university course that you can go to do this kind of SEO training. So it's quite important to speak to folks who are doing this, every day as part of their role. So yeah, I mean, talking about SEO, yes, AI has come in, and you can use Google Lens and you can use all of these fandangled things, but you still need to have your Google business page, right?
Yeah, simple things like that. So obviously, when people are looking for a local business, it's fantastic if you have a Google profile. But also, I think one of the most important key things these days is to have a unique, distinct difference in your brand. So your message is not the same as everybody else, and that's just sort of key pillar, foundational branding, marketing things that we always knew, but now it's even more important. So because it's so easy to publish a whole bunch of generic content and think that's okay, but it's not. You need to have your own brand voice that's distinctly yours, but also your own brand message. So the things you're saying and communicating, which are unique to you, because then you're adding value to the content. You see so many people just jumping in and publishing a whole bunch of generic content, which is probably going to cause more harm than good, I would say.
Yeah, well, especially with AI, if you're going to create your brand using ChatGPT or using Gemini, it's going to be exactly the same. The AI is not going to send people to you because they're going to say, well, this is generic content. So you do need to do this with professionals. You do need to do this in your own voice. And creating that differentiation, as you mentioned, is extremely important. So talking about differentiation, your focus area is on the construction companies, basically. Why construction companies, and how is marketing construction companies different to, for example, selling a slab of piss?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's the and we Aussies we buy slabs of piss over here sometimes. I didn't start out this way, that's for sure. So I didn't start out niched. Realistically, I started as a freelance type business, and even more just evening work until I built up enough business for freelance to do a couple of days solid a week, and then eventually, full time myself, and then hiring people and so on. So went through that whole process, but I did anything for everybody, as we often do. But I knew the concept of niching. I understood it. I would even communicate that to clients. Hey, what's your core offering, and how do we make it distinct? Hey, can you niche in because it's going to be better for your marketing? I had those conversations with everybody else, but I didn't do it myself, because it is a brave decision, I think, because there's that fear that you're cutting off a whole bunch of potential, but the reality is you're not. You're just amplifying the area in which you serve the clients, your ideal clients. So I forgot the question. No, it was the uniqueness of serving the construction businesses. So it is. I fell into the niche a little bit because I just found the majority of my very best clients were in trades and construction, and typically a little bit bigger construction companies. So they might have a marketing manager, or at least somebody within the organization looking after it, sometimes dealing with the founder. So that presents different challenges, but it's all about trust. I seem to just relate to those people really well, those types of industries. They're really practical, hands-on people. Oftentimes they've worked their way up from the ground on the tools, so to speak. So they're not really the digital kind of people. They're just not. So to come alongside and support them and build relationships and trust, I've just found I've got a knack for that. And the more you work in one niche, the more you learn about what's important to them, and how to get results, because you can kind of learn a few things that worked for one company that's kind of similar, and quickly get some runs on the board, and that's always positive when you get some quick wins for a client. So, but yeah, I would say the personalities and the types of people in the construction industry are the distinct difference between some of the other clients when I was serving everybody. In other industries, oftentimes they kind of thought they knew lots of stuff, and it kind of sometimes it would become a challenge because they wouldn't just take your expert advice, and so you kind of could tell they're going down the wrong path, but they're the client. So with the construction guys, they just take your advice, and that's great because you can create a great outcome, and they trust you fully. So.
And you've given a really nice description of the importance of niching down. And you brought up one key point there, which is the concept of trust. And
Yeah.
since you've done this a couple of times, obviously, in the construction and trade industry, there are certain, exactly, personality types that you're going to deal with. There are certain things that work and don't work in this industry. And I'm going to ask, do you think you've missed out by not going into a whole bunch of other, by trying to focus on other businesses? And I'm asking this specifically for people who are starting out, or students and that, who are thinking about, are worried about niching because then they're going to lose all these other customers.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, I've still got legacy clients in other industries. So, and I've been running the business 20 years. So some of them have been with me maybe even nearly that whole time, maybe 15 years, still with me. So I'm still serving them, and I know their business is still okay. The curious thing is, so I didn't cut off any business that I was being done. It's just going to evolve. That new people coming on board are typically in my niche. So I don't think I definitely didn't lose out for sure. The numbers show that. We've just had our best financial year ever. We report in June. I realize other nations might do it slightly different, but we report our financial years in June, so a couple of months ago, and it was easily the best financial year ever. it would be because of the niching in and a few other things. Like we've introduced AI into the business a little bit to streamline a few processes, like most of us have done, and even supporting clients in using some of the tools and techniques as well. So it's been
Yeah.
brilliant, really niching. Yeah,
Yeah. So the point I wanted to make on that, obviously, the niching doesn't mean you can't do other work. It just means that you're going to get specific clients focusing who are going to come to you because you're very good at that. And you're not going to necessarily
yeah.
chase away business, but at least your core market and who you're marketing at is very clear and very easy to explain
There's a
what you do.
curious, but sorry to cut you off, but there is a curious thing. So I do have people outside our niche reaching out, and they say something like, "Oh, I see on your website you specialize in construction. We're not really that, but we're kind of that, and but we've heard from so and so that you do a great job. Do you think you might be able to do something for us in our industry?" And it changes the dynamics of everything because all of a sudden they're almost begging me to work with because they've heard of good things. So it's a weird thing. So, and I don't take on all of them. I do genuinely go through the process of discussing what they actually need and is it something that we feel we can do a great job at. Sometimes if it's just the same tech that we always use, if there's nuance that we don't really understand, we might say, okay, you're better served with this other niche business. But oftentimes it is something we can work with. So it's a curious thing. Once
Yeah.
yeah, people sort of start begging you to work with you. It's really weird.
That's always a good position to be in. Now, let's also talk a little bit about your book, The Simple Manifesto. So I like talking to authors because it means they know they've done a bit of research and they've got chapters. Talk to me about The Simple Manifesto. Who's it for? Why did you decide to write a book? I mean, you're a website guy. Come on.
Yeah, yeah, I know. And well, I wrote it because I enjoyed writing, and I was blogging, and someone, like most of us do, and someone said, "Hey, you should start thinking about compiling these thoughts into a book." And I did like the writing, so I did that, and so it was really taking a lot of the thoughts and ideas from blogs and sort of massaging them into a book and then filling in the gaps to make it sort of sensible. But it was all done before AI, so I did legitimately punch those letters into the keyboard myself. So that's
On all
my
books,
own words.
it should be B, what's it, BAI, so before AI, just as a little asterisk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, true, true. It's yeah. So I did it almost. It was almost like I was writing to myself. So it talks about like niching and all that kind of stuff. It's not for construction, which is our industry. It was for people just like me, who wanted to grow their small business and grow from what was a freelance business into something more established. And the lessons learned the hard way, hiring the wrong types of people and the mistakes and the horror stories and how to be distinctly different and unique and get your brand message out there and how to have something compelling that people want to engage with as a business and a brand. So it was written, yeah, it must have been, it probably is 10 years ago now. So probably some of the tech strategies that might be a little bit dated, but for the most part, it's strategy that will always remain true and consistent. So yeah, it sells. It doesn't sell many anymore. It did okay in the initial phase, but I see the little trail clicking in from time to time through different sales agencies. So yeah.
Well, it's time for the new and updated version to be put out there with the AAI, so after AI, so that we can have that little asterisk
Yeah.
from there. Now, where can I send folks to read up a little bit more about you if they're in the construction or trade industry in specifically in Australia, I guess? Where am I going to send folks?
Yeah, uplift360.com.au. That's the website. You'll find all the socials there, even my personal LinkedIn. I'll connect with anyone on LinkedIn. We do serve mostly Australian clients, but we've got international as well. It's launched a website through South Africa. I believe you're from South Africa. We
Yep.
launched one through there last year. So, but they're few and far between. But
Can't believe
Happy
we're
to connect with anybody.
outsourcing work to Australia now. What's the world coming to?
It's well, yeah, that's right. It was an international business that they've got branches everywhere. They're still company, but I did their international website. I don't know why they chose to do it here, but they did, and that's
Well,
great.
I
So
went to your website and you've got a whole bunch of amazing steel companies and big building companies. So anyone who goes there should be mightily impressed. Wes, it's been great chatting. Now you can get ready for the rest of your day, knowing you've had a solid podcast. So all the best to you.
thanks, Nicholas. Really enjoyed it.